What's going on, party people? So today we're going to take a look at Destiny and just the outrageous whining that's happening over this game. We live in a culture where it seems like kids think they can whine about something and they'll get what they want afterwards. And that is exactly what we're seeing with Destiny. You have all these content creators just basically capitalizing off of shitting all over this company. As though the people at Bungi are not even humans. They're all out trying to rob you of your money. They're all celebrating and cheering as, I believe, Belgium decided to pass or uphold laws. I can't remember the exact wording of this, but essentially they said that video game creators could be jailed for putting in certain kinds of loot boxes into their games. Of course, you have the community celebrating as though like, oh my god, look what we've done. We've made it so EA can't sit there and rob us. If you don't like the products they make, don't buy them. What you're pissed off about is the success of these companies, despite having flaws or things you don't like about their games. So with Bungi, the narrative that's being spewed out in one of the most toxic ways, and I don't even like using the word toxic or toxicity, it just seems stupid. But what they're doing with Bungi is they're trying to present this company as a bunch of people who partnered with EA to screw over the masses, to rob you of your money, to promise you the world, and, throw the crumbs that are left over from their studios. They spent years making Destiny, and they spent years making Destiny 2. Now, was it content short? Yeah. Was there problems in Destiny? Absolutely. Were we hoping for more? Sure, of course we were. Absolutely. But that's like an artist being commissioned to maybe paint you some art for your home. And he works his ass off on some of this art. And maybe he holds back some pieces, to add to the collection throughout the next few months. Whatever. But then you look at this art that he worked on and you just shit all over it. Because it wasn't whatever you were expecting. This is insane. This crybaby mentality that we have gotten ourselves into, by we, I mean America, the biggest babies of the planet is what this millennial generation has become. Remember, the same crybabies who whined about Destiny 1, how it was too hard for the casual players to get anything, all over the Reddit post, right? It's the same whiny mentality that's being used right now, saying everyone should just stop playing Destiny, Bungi are a bunch of crooks, so on and so forth. There's always been a toxic element. The thing is, 5 years ago, that element it didn't really come into the limelight like it has today. Just with the emergence of social media and the way that social media is able to get one message across and make it go viral. And you have all these weak-minded people who, of course, are just going to hear something and they're just going to go along with it and start bashing everybody. It's absolutely insane that human beings are treating other human beings in such a negative way. As a veteran, I'm someone who's actually risked my life for the things that I believe in. These kids who are sitting here whining about everything, thinking every time we throw a temper tantrum, we should get what we want, that is a terrible precedent to send, period. Now, Bungi's biggest mistake was listening to the crybaby whinies. That's what they did from D1, and that's why they made a lot of these changes. And in fact, you could actually, I don't believe this, but I'm saying you could make the argument that they actually took a risk with D2. That they tried to appease a side of the community because they knew they had the loyal fans. So they're like, how do we get the other guys back? Maybe we could make some of these core changes to the game, and this would, silence all the haters. But it's like give a camel an inch, they'll take a mile. You can never appease to this whiny, throw-a-fit mentality. If you ever give into it, they just celebrate and act as though, oh yes. You can see this happening across the United States. With, for example, school walkouts, which is a controversial subject. It's on gun control. Some people want their guns. Other people want to take your guns. It's really just the two sides of the argument there. So you have these children throwing a fit, walking out of school, being supported by their very, very far left teachers, which agree with that or don't agree with it, it's still happening. And you have people who are in leadership positions who are basically incentivizing children to behave in a moronic way. That's never going to work in real life. I see this with everything across the spectrum. It's not just video games. It's happening, it happened with The Me Too movement happened with this, and I'm not saying these movements are bad, but throwing a fit to get what you want is ridiculous. Now, there are some cases where these things need to be taken very seriously, and an absolute protest is 100% necessary, and I don't believe in protesting. I believe in fighting for what you believe in. So I do stand with anyone who's doing that. Absolutely. If this is something you believe in and you're fighting for it, then go on. But just the toxic, trashy, bashing, dehumanizing the enemy, I mean, these are tactics that communism used. In order to get all the population to be on their side, they would use these really underhanded, nasty, manipulative tactics to get basically all the people to hate whoever they were attacking. Basically, they would always, no matter what they did, no matter what their opponent did, they would always point out the negative or bad things done in the past. And this is what I see content creators doing with Destiny. And I'm not going to say all of their names because I actually enjoy some of these people's content. I think they're just kind of getting swept up in the movement. And this is a cultural thing that we have to be aware of, and we have to focus to try to change ourselves. You have to be aware of the society you live in and the cultural effects that that's having on you just being in that society. In a society of whiny babies who throw fits to get whatever they want, that's going to start seeping over onto you, the people you care about, and just the way you interact with the world. You're going to start seeing someone throw a fit and be like, wow, maybe for them to be that outraged, for them to be this emboldened, impassioned, or whatever word you want to use, there has to be a really good reason behind it. I guess Destiny is really a bunch of evil, money grabbers just out there trying to steal the wallet from the back of my pants as I'm just barely making it through life. That's ridiculous. Eververse, was it an issue? Sure. Was it like, Den of Thieves? They're just breaking in your house while you're sleeping, knocking you over the head with the clubs, taking your pillows, getting the case and putting all your silver in there? No, that's insane. That's absolutely retarded. They were trying to figure out a way to bring in some extra revenue into the game, and they have a contract with EA. They have to make a certain amount of money. They have to. And what people always view the world as is the haves and have-nots. Well, these are rich people. We're all poor. They shouldn't need any more money. That's stupid. That is the most moronic train of thought a person can have. What is to say if, say, you're a Twitch streamer, someone like Ninja, right? Who I'm very happy for his success. Any of those people who do that, I'm very happy for anyone's success because it means they worked hard for something and they deserve what they have, in my opinion. But to say, oh, you have too many subscribers, you're making too much money off of Twitch, off of YouTube videos, whatever, so what we need to do is take some of those viewers and give them to someone over here who's, uploaded 3 videos and doesn't really do anything. This is insane. Why would anyone think that way? That's not happening. And it's absolutely crazy that we're catering to one side of this argument. It's time for people who maybe enjoy the game to step up and maybe start making some of your own content. Right now, I would say there's an opportunity for new content creators to emerge because the landscape of YouTube is really just being taken over by trolls and just toxic language everywhere. Everything's negative about everyone. Everyone is just outraged, demanding change. Do you really want the government involved in video game makings? Because there is a lot. Yongye, Skill Up, who I like both of those people, but both of them are promoting for having the government involved in video game making, regulating games. Do you really want to give that potential to the government? Where they could say, oh yeah, well, let's say Far Cry. That game could have never been made. Imagine if the government is involved in that. Well, this is a conservative bashing game. Which, good or bad, doesn't matter. My point is, you should have the freedom to create what you want without your government deciding what kind of a video game you can make, what things you should be allowed to put into a video game. That's crazy. The fact that whiny people are calling for such things is kind of appalling. Anyways, guys, I got hope for the future for Destiny. Because I understand that the people at Bungie are actual human beings, that they want to make something good. They don't want to just sit there, and who would want to hear all these whiny asses saying, you suck, this is trash, you're a thief? Who would want to hear that? No one would want to hear that. And these are the very same people they were trying to appease when they changed the way D1 was to the way D2 is now. Now they're just trying to get back to the point before they started listening to all these whiners. What I would say is, don't forward their trash. If someone is, if they have constructive criticism, don't get me wrong. I've been very critical of Destiny 2, but not like toxic, dehumanizing them as a company, them as people. These are human beings. This is ridiculous that I'm even having to have this conversation. Anyways, guys, that is my take on this. I will be uploading a couple videos per week on just Destiny 2 news, Warframe stuff, because I do, let's not forget, Warframe started off in a really bad place. What that company has done with that game in this, 5-year period has been amazing. I have more respect for that company of developers than a lot of others. I think the way they handle certain things isn't the best. Mainly political type issues. I think you really need to stay kind of out of that realm. Now, I'm of course just a commentator, or I have like 4 videos at this point. But my point is, that's more my niche. That's what I do. I like to do political talk and stuff like that. I'm going to stay a little bit more away from them, the video game side here. But it's still going to leak over because video games are a subculture within the culture, and the general ideas and influences that are happening out and the rest of the world will leak over into the video game industry one way or another. If you don't believe that, well, then you're retarded. Anyways, guys, peace. See y'all later.
Double down. You're catching up. Close the gap.